right. Hi, everybody. I'm Shari. I'm going to be your presenter today. I have a short presentation for you. I wanted to kind of keep it um, general, a little bit more tidbits of information for you. And then I left a huge chunk of time. It's kind of going to be like half presentation, half question and answer. So I know you guys can drop your questions into the chats and so forth. I feel like I want to open it up to discussions and question answer near the end because there's so many routes that this can go. So yeah, all right, I'm going to get this presentation going. I'm going to try to share my screen. I am not tech savvy, so please bear with me for a moment. I've done this a few times. Doesn't mean it will work. And I do this without sharing everything on my thing. All right, well, you guys are going to just get some quick. Hold on. Zoom. This is not what I wanted. Have it already. There's all my emails. Where's Canva? All right. Here we go. I had it all set and it went away on me. Okay. All right. Let me move you all back up here. Okay. Let me condense this if I can. There, that's perfect. All right, ladies, here we go. Getting to know your pelvic floor after baby. Such an important conversation, and I'm super, super passionate about it. So I hope you like some of the information I am sharing. I'm the owner of Posture Power Wellness. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about me, but that's why the logo's up there. Um, okay, come on. There we go. All right. First off, congratulations. You have just done something so amazing. When I had children, my OB casually said to me, "Like, having a baby, pregnancy is the everyday miracle." And I absolutely believe that. So many things have to line up right. Also, your body has just performed this miraculous event, and it's incredible. And I know there's so much focus on the babies, but there's got to be some focus on you. You deserve a chance to recover, rebuild, and thrive. And I feel like this is the one thing that is lacking in our community and our culture here is there's not an emphasis on the mom. And so the mom has become my passion. Ladies, we're incredible. Our bodies are incredible. And we are not given the grace and permission to be able to rehab that. And I want to change that dialogue. So I have a couple thoughts here for you to help guide you on how to recover because recovering is crucial to how you age later on down the road. Our body, I believe our body has the ultimate karma. If you are not good to your body, it will pay you back in the end. So let's get into this. A little bit about me, so that you know where I'm coming from and why I'm here. So I am the owner of Posture Power Wellness. I am a pelvic floor therapist and I'm certified in Pilates. I have fused these two things together. I'm super, super, super passionate about moms. I am a mom. I have two kids. I had a diastasis. I had doctors tell me that I just had to deal with pelvic floor issues, and I got angry. And there's nothing like a scorned woman to have a life passion. So I have made it my life passion that women don't feel this way. I have two brick and mortar studios in Denver, where you can come in and do pelvic floor therapy, pelvic floor rehab in a fun way with Pilates. I also have an online program that is accessible from anywhere. I will tell you a little bit more about that later on down the road, but I really want you to know that, like, I know what I'm talking about here. I'm not just pulling this out. I am 25-year plus therapist, pelvic floor therapist, certified in Pilates. I'm a postpartum corrective exercise specialist. I have really made this my life passion, and I want to give you this information to help you get get better. All right, why it matters. So your changes that happen to your body are common and completely normal, but we do not need to accept it. Culturally, we're told to just deal. You do not need to deal. None of this is permanent. 80% of pelvic floor issues can be cured and treated through exercise. And it infuriates me that this is not offered right out from the gate. It's crazy. 80%. Pelvic floor health is one of the number one ways to improve your quality of life. Ladies, you have the right to have continence. You have the right to enjoy sex and sex not be painful and have an orgasm. You have the right to good posture. You have the right to feeling strong and confident in your body. I remember having my babies and looking down and being like, what is this? Is this my body? And it's taken me a long time to rehab that. And in my process of rehabbing, this is the program I came up with and the information I have come across. So this is so important. It's about your longevity. It is about your quality of life. It needs to be a priority. All right. So common postpartum pelvic floor changes. So things that just happen from having a baby. Think about how much your body has morphed with the stretching, the growing, the relaxin, then delivery. So because of the relaxin and the stretching of those muscles, you can have that muscle weakness and some laxness to your joints, just from pregnancy, from that stretch and the delivery. We need to strengthen that. We need to help pull that back so that you feel stable in there. Scar tissue. So scar tissue does not just happen with C-sections. Ladies, we get scar tissue from that stretching of our belly. A lot of times I teach women how to scar mobilize their whole stomach, and they start to feel scar tissue everywhere from that stretching of the belly and then the pull back in. So these are things that we can manage. C-section scarring as well. You don't have to, there are so many ways to minimize that scar so it doesn't give you further issues. You can have bladder and bowel changes. You can have leaking, you can have urgency, you can have the difficulty of completely emptying, you can be completely incontinent. Um, Incontinence can come in bladder and bowel. All of that is connected to your pelvic floor. And your pelvic floor controls the sphincters around both your bowels and your bladders. So it can impact both. It can impact one. It can impact, sometimes you can feel tightness on one side over the other. We have to balance all that out. It's just been through a lot. Prolapse. Prolapse is misunderstood. A lot of people think it's that things are going to be falling out of you. Your body parts are. They're not. It is the slow shift of your organs coming down into that urethral or like down into the cavities. It can happen anally. It can happen through cervix. It can also happen through bladder. Okay. So you can have it in a bunch of different places. They say that if you have had a vaginal delivery, then you probably already have a small degree of prolapse. I mean, when you're pushing out a baby, things go with it. So sometimes you can feel heaviness down there or a little bit bulging. Getting those muscles firing and connecting correctly can reverse those feelings and help you be able to control it. Sexual changes. Sex does change. You've completely changed the muscles down there. If you tore while you were delivering, you're going to have some scar tissue. Scar tissue makes those muscles not move as easily. So it's important to get those scars moving. An orgasm is the contraction of a muscle. So we want that pelvic floor working correctly. Most people, most humans have tight pelvic floors. It comes from our sedentary lifestyles. A tight pelvic floor means that muscle's kind of stuck in a contracted place. That contraction makes it very difficult to contract more for an orgasm. Also, it can make sex painful. These are signs that you have a tight pelvic floor. Exercising can help fix that. And you have a right to have enjoyment around that. It is a piece of quality of life. So doing some exercising and really understanding what's going on down there, we can really help make that change. The other one that I really like to talk about, especially when you are postpartum, is a diastasis recti. The diastasis recti is that separation of your abdominal, so you get that like little cave right down the middle from that stretch. Every woman postpartum has a diastasis. For most women, it goes away on its own. For some women, it does not. But no matter which one you are, especially in the beginning, it's really important to be aware of that because it is instability and there's some weakness. And doing some traditional abdominal crunches or any forced flexion of your body, you're putting more pressure on that space, and that can really impact it healing. You can make it worse, or you can actually stop it from going away and it stays. So it's something that I want every woman to be aware of. And it's you need to do abdominal exercises differently. The traditional ab crunches, they're a time piece of history. Those need to go. There is such a better way to do it with in that's way more pelvic floor friendly and help you kind of build that from the inside out. So these are, our general changes that happen to our body. Not You may not have all of them. You may have one, you may have none. You may be like, I feel great. That's fantastic. Every postpartum journey is different. Every woman is different. Every body is different. So, but it's good to know what the global kind of bag of things that can happen is. All right. I want to dive a little deeper into the pelvic floor because I talked about rehabbing your core from the inside out. And we talked, with the diastasis piece of how ab exercise can be a little different. This is my mantra. Okay. I have a can on one side of the screen because this is kind of what I think about our body as. And so we're gonna do that. The upper one is kind of showing the relationship between your diaphragm, your transverse abdominis, and your pelvic floor. So transverse abdominis is your deepest, deepest, deepest core abdominal muscle. You have we're going to go from the outside in, so they kind of get it. We all know about a six-pack muscle. That's our abdominis rectus. When you peel that away, underneath you have your external obliques, which kind of wrap around your ribs. Those are kind of pointed. If you put your hands on your ribs and point your fingers towards your opposite hips, that would be what your external obliques are. Your internal obliques are underneath there. They go the other way, so they kind of point upwards. If you peel that away, there's your transverse abdominis. The transverse abdominis's job is to give you lengthening and support in your back. It also holds your ribs and your pelvis together. This is our long and lean muscle. This is the muscle that helps us really grow and get a nice connection in the middle. It holds all our organs in. It's so important. It also plays a major, major role in our breathing. We've talked, everybody's heard about diaphragmatic breath. Diaphragmatic breath is supposed to be very relaxing and you do it while you meditate. Well, what if I told you this is the way you were supposed to breathe all the time? We all think we're supposed to breathe into our chest. We are actually supposed to breathe into our bellies. When you can easily utilize a diaphragmatic breath, you are working your diaphragm, your transverse abdominis, and your pelvic floor together. So you're getting a core workout and you're making sure that pelvic floor is nice and healthy. This is one of the first things I teach my postpartum and actually my prenatal women because it's one of the best ways to make sure all that deep, 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 deep stuff is connected. So like I like to look at it as a can because you have to have a top, a bottom, and walls. This is our body. So this can kind of resembles our canister. The diaphragm is the top, the pelvic floor is the bottom. You have your abdominal muscles and your back muscles. Ideal diaphragmatic breath. When you inhale, that diaphragm and pelvic floor should go down. You should feel that pelvic floor relax and open into kind of the sit bones, into the space between your legs. As you exhale, you should feel that pelvic floor naturally come up and the abdominal muscles, your core starts to pull inwards as the diaphragm goes up as well. So everything's supposed to kind of work together. They go down on the inhale, they go up on the exhale. This is, like I said, it's a core work. You're actually getting that deep core muscle firing. But I also love it for us to be able to check into our pelvic floors. If you do not feel your pelvic floor moving, that means there's something going on there, that you're not quite as balanced as we want you to be. I give so many women the homework of, I just want you to lay down and I want you to try to breathe and take it and see how low you can go. Can you take that breath and feel that pelvic floor expand? If you feel an expansion, that is that pelvic floor relaxing. As you feel it pull up and tighten and in on the exhale, that is that muscle contracting. Every muscle in our body has to relax and contract. That is a sign of muscle health. So it's a really great way for us to check into your pelvic floor. And this is where it is so important for posture. It's so important for so many pieces. So just before I move on, I want you to sit up nice and tall, sit on your sit bones, and I want you to take a deep breath. Inhale and just feel how low that goes. Can you get that all the way down? Can you feel that pelvic floor expand? As you exhale, can you feel it naturally pull up and in? Don't force it and don't kegel. Okay. Don't try to make that contraction deeper. It's not, I want this to be a natural, organic event, because my goal is that every woman could be standing in line getting coffee and they can be doing this breath work and they're doing their core and their pelvic floor work without even thinking about it. So it's such a great way for us to get in there a little deeper. And this is how our body works. And if you think about it, when you were pregnant, you can see how suddenly breathing got a little harder. That pelvic floor had all that pressure because that transverse abdominis was holding the baby, holding everything in. And it was sitting right between those two things. So it can kind of show you where the pressure and where some of that trauma can happen that we need to rehab from. Okay. All right. I get these questions all the time, so I wanted to add this in here. These are very, very general guidelines. And when it's safe to return to activity, this is really all about that pelvic floor deep core connection, okay? General guideline is you usually are waiting for that 6-week postpartum check. But I'm going to tell you, I've met women at 3, 4 weeks, and I'm saying that that's right for you. But they can come in and they start working on this breathing and just working on gently moving their pelvises around, and it makes them feel better. So listen to your body. If you feel like you can move okay, great. There are some flags that are going to help tell you whether or not you're doing too much. If you do an activity and your bleeding goes up, that means you put too much pressure onto that pelvic floor and it is not ready. So it's a way to back up. If you start to feel bulging and pressure, again, your pelvic floor is like, I can't do this. Back off. Take a moment and let it just ramp slowly. Pain with basic activities. I don't want pain. Pain is your body's way of telling you that something is not quite working right. So back off a little bit. Take it easy. All right. If you suddenly have an inability to control that bladder and bowels, if you increase activity and that happens, that is definitely a sign that you are pushing that pelvic floor too much. Our pelvic floor has really important jobs. It has a ton of jobs. One of them is keeping everything inside us. So then it is controlling bowel and bladder. So the ability to, control your voiding, sex, breath, stabilization as we stand up. Those are the muscles that are right there in between everything. So those are, if you're suddenly seeing some changes, that is telling you you're doing too much. Okay. So use that as a rule of thumb. Listen to your body. Everybody's body's different. Some people bounce back and they're moving and grooving at 3 weeks, and some women need 6 to 8 weeks. That is your journey. Keep it about you. Please do not compare yourself to other moms, Comparison is the thief of joy. And your body is unique. No pregnancy is the same. No delivery is the same. So why would the recovery be the same? So please listen to your body. Okay. So steps where I kind of a simple like step of guide, gentle breath and mobility. So that diaphragmatic breath, you can do that one day one. It's going to help you start to get in there. The only time I ever recommend a Kegel is right at this place with that gentle breath and mobility. Kegels are something that you can start doing just to say, hey, can I find my pelvic floor? Can I feel it relax? Can I feel it contract? The second you can feel that, stop that. Warning on Kegels, they can cause your pelvic floor to tighten too much. There's a lot more that our pelvic floor does than just this pull up. So I don't want you hyper focusing on that. It is a tool to get started and then quickly break up with. Okay. So diaphragmatic breath. I love pelvic tilts. Tilt that pelvis forward and back, side to side. Just get some mobility there. It's been stuck for so long with holding the baby because that third trimester, you're not moving that a whole lot. You can't, you don't have room. So find some mobility, open up your hips. The relaxin definitely changes things. All right. And then once you're starting to feel like you can find a little connection there, you're moving a little bit, walking, gentle progression of walking is really, really great. And functional strength, picking up the baby, moving around, doing life, and slowly just adding more life on. Um, you know, gradual reintroduction of higher intensity stuff. If you're a runner or lifting or hit, I want you to be mindful. Listen to your body. Pay attention to these red flags. Relaxin is still pumping through your body for at least 6 months post baby. If you are breastfeeding, it stays in your body till you're done nursing. Keep that in mind. I have met many, many women that went back too soon and they suddenly got some pelvic pain. So be mindful. I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm saying be mindful of these red flags and listen to your body. Start small, slowly reintroduce it. I would I think that running any of these higher intensity things, you really, really, really should wait till 12 weeks at least because the relaxant is going so hard in your body. I don't want you to further impact other things. And you really want that pelvic floor to be able to bounce back a little bit before you put that pressure in there. I know I've been kept saying it, and that's why it's down here. Empowering. I think this is so important. Comparison's a thief of joy. It's not linear. Every woman's journey is different. Every pregnancy is different. Every delivery is different. Every postpartum is different. The timelines are different. Do not compare yourself to someone else. You are doing the best you can do. You showing up and being there for you and for your baby and making yourself still a priority, which I know is so hard, is a win. So stay true to that and stay true to you. All right. I have kind of dabbled a little bit on there and I wanted to put this together for you. Here are a couple of just simple at home pelvic floor exercises you can start doing right now. So, diaphragmatic breathing. I love it if you haven't couldn't pick up on that yet. The diaphragmatic breathing is so important. The best way to get started is you're going to lay down on your back. You're going to just bend your knees, put your feet down on the floor. Take your hands and just rest them on your lower stomach. I want you to just really notice where your fingers are. Use that as feedback and try to breathe deeply into those fingers and feeling it expand. Because right now, the act of getting that breath down there to that pelvic floor, as I talked about, is actually very difficult. So you want to just work on how low can you get that breath? Can you get it down to that pelvic floor? Can you get it to expand that pelvic floor? It's going to take practice. But lying down and doing it lying down is the easiest way to do it. Don't do it from sitting up or standing. It's harder. So go down, grade down, and then gradually increase it. Pelvic tilts. I love pelvic tilts. Mobility is the first step to stability. You can't have stabilization if you don't have the mobilization. So gently tilting your pelvis back and forth, side to side, circles, really open up that lumbosacral joint, like where your lumbar spine and your sacrum and your pelvis meet. Getting that moving is going to be really, really important. Marching. I love marching. That is when you are in the Pilates or not Pilates, therapy world. We call it marching in Pilates world. In therapy world, we call it dead bugs. You're lying down on your back. You're going to bring one leg up and you're going to make like a table out of your shin. It's a 90-90 table. You're going to bring it down and you're going to switch to the other side. It's important to keep going. Can you do this without your pelvis tilting forward, back, and side to side? Be mindful. Do not flatten your back down while you're doing this. It is something we all think we're doing to protect our backs. You're actually cutting off that lower core connection, and you're not by tilting your pelvis, your lower core, your hip flexors don't work. And then your pelvic floor has to tighten. Those are the things we want to get firing. So make sure that you have a nice, long, neutral pelvis. Everyone's like, what is that? The easiest cue that I like to think about when I'm doing it is when you're lying down, I want you to think about if you had a tail, it would come out your butt crack. Put that into the floor. Keep that tail down. So you want to keep that tailbone connecting. And so you want to have a little gentle, natural lumbar curve. So I like to be able to fit my fingers underneath my lumbar area of my spine, and I should be able to just kind of get my fingers under there. No more. I don't want it to be this huge arch. It's just very natural. Don't squish your back down, okay? Bridges. Bridges are great. A lot of times people think about their glutes and their hamstrings when they are bridging, but it actually gets you lengthening and opening up the front of your body, which you need. We want the front and back. That's your internal clamshell firing. It's going to help you feel way more stable. Child's pose and happy baby, two of my favorite yoga poses. They help lengthen and open up that pelvic floor. If that pelvic floor is feeling a little tight from some scar tissue, just from everything, this is a great natural way to do it. The caveat with the child's pose, knees wide, ladies. Don't bring your knees in tight. Put your feet together and put those knees out into a V. You're going to get so much deeper in there. Okay. And Kegels, we have to talk Kegels. Like, when do you not talk Kegels? As I said earlier, Kegels are a great tool to help find that initial connection into your pelvic floor. Once you've got it, please break up with it. Its job is literally just to find that connection. If you keep doing those Kegels, you are at risk of almost over tightening that pelvic floor and swinging it to the opposite direction. So use it to find it and then break up with it. Okay. All right. There's other things we can be doing just in our day-to-day life when you're like, oh my Lord, I can't lay down. I can't do these exercises. There's so many ways to meet you. I really believe in meeting everybody where they're at. That diaphragmatic breath, the more you can focus on being able to breathe down into your core, the better connections you're going to have. You're going to start building that core connection naturally. Being mindful of your posture, trying to sit up on those sit bones if you can. Get that alignment, especially when you are um, doing your daily care with your baby. That rounding that we round into to hold the baby with the feeding and everything, it really wreaks havoc on our upper back, our lower back. You're probably like, you're telling me, I'm feeling it. And it also prevents you from getting that core alignment. Okay. There's such a focus on getting our bodies back and getting better and bouncing back. And remember, rest, hydration, and taking just care of yourself is probably way more important than that exercise. And sometimes we minimize that. It is important for you to really listen to your body. If you are tired, be tired. Just listen. Your hormones are all over the place. Your body is working 4 times harder because it is trying to rehab and figure out, with all these hormones and all these changes, what's going on. Mindset. We've talked about this before. Recovery takes patience. Please, please celebrate your progress. Celebrate the fact that you went outside, you took a walk, you sat, you took a deep breath. Today I'm feeling a little bit better. It's not going to be a linear line. I think rehab is more like a roller coaster. You're going to have an up and a down, and you want to stay focused on the end. Don't, and remember, your end is different than someone else's end. So just try to stay positive and give yourself grace. We all rehab differently. If you're feeling like you need more, please don't be afraid to go out there and get support. I feel like I wish this was offered more widely to women. I feel like the world's slightly changing, but you know, in our culture, it's still not widely offered. There are pelvic floor physical therapists and occupational therapists. I should have taken that out because OTs and PTs can be pelvic floor therapists. I'm an OT. Um, Check out in your community and find one if you need that. Also, there are specialized rehab programs. That's what I did. I made Core Rehab. Core Rehab is a program where you can do that from home. It is on demand or in my studio, and it is all about getting you stronger. So there are specialized programs out there. Please don't do Kegel programs. There's a 5 million of them. It's just going to get you in trouble. There's more to it. There are better programs out there because this is a whole body. I talked about how that diaphragm, pelvic floor, and transverse work together. You want to make sure you have a program that is embracing all of that and not just focusing on contracting your pelvic floor. Um, Again, I said it in the beginning. I'm going to say it again here. 80% of pelvic floor issues can be treated through exercise. You got this. You can do this. You can recover and you can get a sense of self back. Remember, pelvic floor health does directly affect quality of life. All right. Just remember your body's resilient. You can, with this awareness, knowledge, some rehabbing, you can restore that strength, the confidence, enjoy movement, and feel good in your body. I'm a firm believer that once you have a baby, you always have a postpartum body because how can we do all that and not be permanently changed? But this is your opportunity to date your body and get to know it and become friends and not fight so hard for that old self. You're amazing. You made a human. That's phenomenal. So give yourself grace and think about how like some of this could fit into your life. Okay, I keep mentioning my program. I did want to put this out there for you, and then I want to shut this all down and do our group discussion. If you're interested and you're like, oh, the idea of going anywhere is awful, I've made my own program. My program is offered all to my Yada moms for $9.99 a month. You can download my app, Posture Power Wellness, or go to posturepowerwellness.com. At checkout, if you do the monthly subscription for the on demand, you use Yana Mom and you will get it half off forever. I'm here to help you. I am on a mission to support women and help women feel good in their bodies. And I wish something like this was around when I had my babies. But there's nothing like a scorned woman to make a life passion. And that's why I'm here. I want women to feel strong and confident from the inside out. You never have to just deal. So please, whatever your path is, whatever you feel best fits you, get out there and go for it. All right, I'm going to shut this off. And I would love to answer some questions. Is everyone there? Do we have
Yeah, so just a quick question. You said to start at 6 weeks postpartum would be the best time to start exercises like this?
Can I ask you how far postpartum are you?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. How are you feeling?
Good.
Great. If you want to start with some breathing and some gentle just moving of that pelvis, it will probably help you feel better.
Okay.
That 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks is really like getting out there and like, starting to kick the exercising up. But you do not have to wait till then. Like if like you were coming to my studio, I would make you wait to the 6 weeks to join a class.
Okay.
But I've seen people 2 to 3 weeks postpartum where we are just working on that breath. Can you find your pelvic floor? Can you feel things? And I'm going to tell you, the sooner you start doing that, the better you're going to feel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Listen to your body.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome. Anyone else? Are there any in the chat? Let's see. Nope. Any thoughts on any of this? All right. Let me see if I can think of something to share outside of the presentation. Like I said, everyone's journeys are different, and you need to listen to your body, and that's going to really help you be able to start getting moving. Oh, hydration. We talked about that. Hydration's an elusive thing. People never know how much to drink. So we did touch on it, and I'm going to throw that in there because this is really important for your pelvic floor. Diet does affect your pelvic floor. Um, Alcohol, caffeine, rich foods can be very irritant. So if you happen to have something and suddenly you have to pee more, that's an irritant to your pelvic floor. It's a direct result to that diet. So you can uh so just be aware of that. But the hydration piece, if you a good rule of thumb, take your weight and divide it by 2. That is how many ounces you should be drinking at a minimum. We live in Colorado. It is dry here. Add an extra 12 ounces. If you are nursing, add another 12 ounces. So good rules of thumb is really kind of make sure that water's up there. That old rule of 8 glasses, 8 to 10 glasses a day, it is not adequate. So use your weight, divide by 2, and that is how many ounces I want you to get minimum to do that. Yes, I'm going to reshare my screen to the program information at request here. So let me do that. Bear with me again. Oh, look at that. It's already there. Okay, here you go. Please, anybody else that has any questions, please. Uh, I can't see the chat now. So please unmute yourself and just ask away. But yeah, so hydration is that, and electrolytes are your friend. You are using your body so much. There's so many different electrolytes out there. You can choose what fits your taste buds, what you like. That will um, help. So yeah, so hydration, that's a really, really important thing for that pelvic floor, that deep breathing, walking. Uh, I want to give you guys kind of a rule of thumb. Oh, I'm just kind of thinking through a few things. Bathrooms. If you're in the bathroom and you are having a hard time fully emptying, you're having a hard time to relax and allow the flow to start. Because remember that those muscles can kind of be really lax or really tight. Um, a couple tricks, do a couple pelvic tilts on that toilet. Get up, do a little dance in the bathroom, wiggle yourself around a little bit, sit back down, take a deep breath, inhale, exhale, try to relax into it. Please don't hyper push. That's putting a lot of pressure onto that pelvic floor. It's not going to help the rehab process. So try to work on relaxing into it, not pushing. If you are somebody who is peeing and then you go to get up and move around and you feel like you like, oh, there's still some in there. I haven't fully emptied. Those rocking back and forth, tilting on that toilet seat as you're sitting there before and then trying to relax again is a good way to help with that. Goals with bathroom, normal. whatever we want to think normal is. It is normal to go to the bathroom during the day every 2 to 4 hours. At night, it is normal to have to get up only 0 to 1 times a night. So that is a goal. And I'm saying that as don't stress if that is not where you are, but this is a great way. That's a kind of a good number to check into, like, where am I at in this journey? Okay. Because we want to get you there. You're also going to be waking up to be feeding the baby. That may cause you to go to the bathroom as well. So don't overthink it. But I just wanted to give you that information just so that you can kind of check into your body. Because remember, every journey is different. So I want you to kind of know what the benchmark is, where we want to get to. It doesn't have to be where we are at the moment. Okay. Yeah, hydration, that. I could probably keep going on the pelvic floor land here. Any other questions to gear it straight towards you? All right. I hope you enjoyed this. I again tried to make this a little bit more general. Oh, somebody have a question? Okay. Um, I hope you enjoyed it. Again, tried to just do a general overview and not go down too many rabbit holes. I hope you got some good tidbits of what will to kind of help you start to move forward. Congratulations. You are a rock star. Women are amazing. And I hope that I'm honored to be a piece of this postpartum journey. And I am here if you have any questions or anything. Please feel free to reach out. My name is Shari. If you go to Posture Power Wellness, there literally is a contact us button. It will send me an email. Don't hesitate to drop me an email with questions. It is my honor and passion to be here to support you, to support the mom, because I feel like there's so much out there for the baby, but moms, you really need it as well. So again, don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you so much for joining me today.